Welcome back to another episode of a Girl Business Podcast. Today we are in beautiful Folsom and we are with Linda of Balloon Art Celebration. And I'm super excited to hear all about your journey. We were talking and she's going all the way to Texas. So take us as far back as you can go, how you ended up doing what you're doing.
Of course. I am Linda with Balloon Art Celebrations. We're based out of El Dorado County. We do travel. We will go anywhere we need to go to spread love with balloons. But I've always loved balloons. It's always just been, something that as a kid, I enjoyed. And as I was in a relationship, my husband now of 26 years as of last week.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. He would, send roses to my office and I'd be like, I love the roses, thank you, but I will take balloons over roses any day. They last longer, they're beautiful, they're fun. Flowers die, so I've always just loved balloons and just started to do balloons when I had kids, just like every day, I would somehow incorporate it into everyday like celebrations, whether it was just A's on report cards or it was just little achievements, getting their teeth cleaned, just fun stuff. And then, of course, escalates to birthdays, them walking down the stairs and seeing balloons, for their birthday, seeing their faces light up, making it special, and then every year trying to one-up that birthday and just make it far more special and just making it fun, celebrating. Everything. If we've done weddings, birthdays, baby showers, we've done funerals, so, there's a reason to celebrate with balloons.
It's such the beauty of something that moms do and women do is you can make like the tiniest thing fun and special.
Of course. And it's just, it doesn't have to be over the top, just anything just to see that light in their eyes, the excitement. That's what it's all about for me, is just, elevating just a little bit of that, making it super special. Birthdays are wonderful. As you get older, they're a little more, we don't really want to celebrate them, but there's just, seeing people just light up and just like the wow factor. It's like, wow. And it's amazing what we can do with balloons. I mean, it's not just, helium is so expensive, so 99% of what we do is all air-filled. And so we just, we get creative and we just, tell us what your theme is and we go with it. We flow with it. We will come up with ideas to make it fun at different price points too. It doesn't have to be expensive.
That's good.
So
at what point you're doing this like as a hobby, and then at what point did this become a business?
So COVID, of course, I think every balloon company had, started up like during COVID. It was, when we were all, at home and we couldn't go celebrate. My husband's 50th birthday was the weekend before everything shut down. So I had planned this extravagant surprise party for him, invited 100 people, and like everybody RSVP'd. I rented out a venue. And then, things started happening. The things started reporting on the news, like shelter in place and stay home, and people started calling me like, we don't feel comfortable coming out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this surprise party, like no refund. So I was like, we are going to celebrate anyways. We're going to be, out there living it up. And I'm so glad we did, because that was like the end of it. Like our friends that showed up were like, that was the last party we got to go to for like over a year. And so we're so grateful we did that before we all sheltered at home. But it was, coming from the corporate world, I have the flexibility to work from home. I do travel a lot for my corporate life. So that all came to a standstill. I was home, and then we all started taking salary cuts. I'm in the oil and gas business. And nobody was traveling, nobody was going anywhere, planes were grounded. So it was like, okay, we're all going to take 10% salary cuts just to keep things afloat, with the company. And that soon became 20%, then 30%, and to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is hurting. Like financially, this is hurting us. We cannot continue to take salary cuts like this. And my friends were encouraging. They're just like, you have so much fun with balloons, like make that a business. I'm like, who's going to buy balloons? And then it was just, the phone started ringing off the hook. It was like, let's make a website, let's start an Instagram page. and let's just see where this goes. And it was like we planted that one little seed, a friend planted that little seed, and it was like became an ideal, and then it just started to flourish. Like, here we are 5 years later, and things are blooming. Like, we're just so grateful for the doors that are opening and the relationships we've built with, venues who are here at the Gaslight Company today. I mean, beautiful venue, and we're able to collaborate with other small businesses and support each other. And it's amazing. It's amazing where we're at today. I'm so grateful. I mean, who would have thought? Who would have thought?
So was it like a full stop for your corporate job, or was there a period of time when you were doing both?
Yeah, no, not a full stop, because, with balloons, you just don't know when the celebrations are going to come. And it was just too high risk to cold stop everything and just go straight into ballooning. So I worked lateral both. Balloons were predominantly just the weekends at that point. So it's just like, okay, we can handle the weekend flows. We prep at night. Like, it's, we're going to be able to manage both. And then slowly it started picking up into school accounts and college accounts where we're like, okay, well, this is a whole new beast now. So we need to put, all our eggs. This is not a hobby anymore. This is a business. We got to treat it like a business. And, we just got to jump in. And here we are today, super grateful. I've got a great team that supports me. And, they show up when I need them to show up. I mean, I'm not at the point where I have full-time employees. I have 4 part-time employees. But I'm so grateful
That's
because
huge.
that to us is big.
Yeah, that is big.
huge.
Yes.
So we just, we're having fun. We love it. We are still learning. I mean, who isn't learning as they're going?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that, we didn't know that, we trial and error. It's like, oops, we will never do that again. Let's find a better way of doing this. And it's just been amazing. And I have so many amazing women role models. I have a good friend of mine, and she's a franchisee owner, and she's got over 20 different, businesses. And she is, like my go-to. There's several different women in that aspect that is just like, I can go pick their brain, go have lunch with them and just, discuss ideas and just, better way of doing things. And, and if they don't know, they're like, let's, I'll get back to you. Like, let me think about that. That's, a problem we've never had. Or, so I just have like this great network of women that I'm surrounded with that are just so inspiring, that either run nonprofits or their own businesses. And it's, being able to just, learn and collaborate with each other is huge. There's a lot of things that I still don't know, and I am so grateful for those friendships. They're gold. They're gold to me.
Yeah. And speaking of network, like, what a testament it was to the person who planted the seed. you know?
Absolutely.
And like that just goes to show how important it is to encourage one another.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, my sister is like my biggest supporter. She lives down in San Diego, so she's not local, but she is always promoting my business. I mean, I've flown down there several times to do balloon jobs because she's just like my biggest like supporter. She's like spreads the balloon love everywhere. She's like, we have to have a balloon art celebrations #2 down in SoCal so you can be down here. And I mean, she is definitely, you know, if I'm having those doubts, she's just like, nope. She's constantly watering me, showering me with love. She's like, nope, you've got this. You're going to keep growing. You're going to keep blooming. So she is definitely like my #1 supporter when it comes to just, you know, you've got this. Even on the way here today, she's like texting me. She's like, don't want to bother you, but she's like, you know, you've got this. I'm so proud of you. And just, you know, certain times where I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I had a network reach out to be on, you know, live TV in the morning. And I'm like, no, that's not, I'm not a, like, I don't have that face of like, I was like the live TV, no thank you. And she's like, you need to do this. She's like, you need to just put all your self-doubt, you know, to the side, and she'll just do it. You will be so surprised. And I did. And I was like, if I, you know, would have done it, I would have regretted it. So it's like, thank you for pushing me, like, you know, getting me over that edge. So grateful.
Yeah. Well, and plus, like, you do really good with
Oh,
speaking and on camera and stuff. You
Oh,
know?
well,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't think I do, but thank you.
We're always our own worst critic,
We
though, right?
are. And that's one thing about like social media too. It's like, oh, I hate, I like to put snippets as we're on jobs. It'll be just, picture of me with my team that's helping me that day. And I have a lot of people that reach out. They're just like, do you teach classes? Do you, and I'm like, can you do like a video of how, and I'm like, oh, so I'll record myself, setting something up, and then I will never air it because I'm like, nope, I look horrible. I am not the face I'm not the face of the business. So my husband's like, you are the face of the business. You are Balloon Art Celebration. So it's just, yes, I need to get out of my head so that way I can continue to blossom and pivot because, yeah, we are our worst critics.
Absolutely.
And it's just like things that we see that it's like, oh, and other people don't even notice those flaws. So it's like, okay, I need to get there. Eventually I will.
It's like a muscle. Like, the more, if you're on camera more, it's like working out, and then it gets.
What's that? No, I was kidding. That was all, other than lifting weights for the backdrops and backdrops themselves. I'm like, what's that?
Well, I'm sure you have to be active to put all this together. I'm sure that's like
I'm so grateful. I do have one of our team members is a football player at a local college here, and I'm so grateful when he signs up to work because, like I'll carry, 2-3 weights at a time and he just grabs the whole container and I'm like, thank God for you because that would have been like multiple trips for me and that was just one trip for him. So I'm like, the heavy stuff we leave to him and we'll handle the balloons, you take everything else. So grateful for the muscle support. We are getting there though. We're getting stronger.
So your sister, you said she's in Southern California?
She is.
And she said maybe to get something going down there.
Oh, she would love that. I mean, she's always, like, hey, I found this cute little storefront. It'd be cute. And I'm like, oh my gosh, stop. Like, that's very enticing. But I am super content with where we're at. We love, our community. We love where we live. I just can't imagine branching out and doing anything else at this point. Because we have so much growth to do here in our own backyard. And I will go down there for, the onesies and twosies to celebrate, but not anything not anything in the near future that I foresee, but goals. Those are future goals.
Have you ever considered franchising?
I've thought about it, but, I have a playbook. So, of course, the way I process things is like I've got to write things down. I've got my recipe books. And so everything to me is a process, a policy. I come from that corporate world that everything is just like policies, procedures, and so I've built playbooks for organizations before on, how to run a team and what works, what doesn't work. And so I started to build that on my own so that way if I die, my husband can sell, be able to sell the company. But also if there's an opportunity to maybe, branch out and franchise that, what works, what doesn't work, let's put some policies into place to be able to, go from there. But that's, in the near future, no, but maybe something long-term in the next several years, that's something to consider. There's just so many different avenues we can go down. I mean, we love, our balloons we buy only made in the USA, so the latex quality is really good. It's a brand called Tuftex, and we're part of their color crew. So we love, they'll send us products, to demo and try. Do a lot of different collaborating with them, but it's also, a family-run business, woman-owned, that out of Ohio.
Cool.
So, we do. I mean, I love their brand. I mean, the colors are beautiful. And it's a good quality product, it's durable. It's, obviously I'm using products that are going to, that are tested and tried, that, aren't going to be popping in the sun. So I do, I love them because they also teach monthly, they call it Tuftex Tuesdays. And so they have courses that they will have an instructor go down and teach, people will sign up for classes or just show up to some of these balloon warehouses. So last year they reached out and they asked me to teach a class in Los Angeles. And so it was, again, that thing like, should I do this? And it's like, am I even going to be a good instructor? Will it make sense? And of course, my sister gave me that little push. She's like, do it. And I did. And it was so much fun. And being able to network with other small woman businesses, because 99% of the people in that classroom were women-owned and businesses, and they're there to learn, there to pivot, and I mean, to this day, I mean, just literally this weekend, I got an email from one of them like, hey, I remember, you taught this in class. I don't remember what that was. Can you like show me, tell me? And it's like, yes, absolutely. Like we supporting other small businesses, let's community over competition. Let's, help each other grow. And I mean, I'm no stranger to, hey, if I'm not available, I will find, someone else that's local to me that, may be able to do the job. So it's all about just, helping each other grow and network and have fun.
So coming from the corporate world, did you go to school or anything like for business or?
I did in Texas, originally from Southern California, then moved to Texas for several years for my career and went to school there. And I was not a good student. I was like, oh my gosh, I'd much rather just live and learn. And I would say a lot of what I've learned over the course of the years was just on my own, like just, marketing, business. I've had some great mentors in, my industry that have taken me under their wing and really like showed me, processes. And, they're like, one was like, you don't have to go to school to do this. Like, you've got project management down really well. Like you're very just project management oriented. And then I had another one that was like, yes, go to school, take these kinds of courses. So I did. So it's like I had the best of both in my professional career. It's just, there's been people that the corporations have hired that, have these high caliber degrees, but then they don't know what they're doing. So it's just, it doesn't, like that piece of paper has value, but not necessarily in all corporate aspects. So, I mean, I feel like, yes, I make six figures, made six figures easy, doing what I did without having a degree. So it's like, you can have the best of both. Does it look great on paper that you have accomplished that? Yes. But when you've got 20 plus years in that profession, a lot of times they're like, we'll take that over the degree because we know you can jump into it and get it. Like we're not going to be holding your hand through it.
Right.
So it's like good and bad.
Right. And shout out to all the people that have gotten their degrees. Like that is a huge accomplishment, but there's multiple different paths you can take in life, I think is the point of the story.
Absolutely. I mean, I came from, my profession was very blue collar. So a lot of people, certificate programs, and that's great because, college isn't for everyone.
Right.
It's not for everyone. And that's okay.
Yeah.
So do I encourage my boys to, finish? Yes, I do. But at the same time, I'm like, do what makes you happy. Balloons make me happy. So it's like, do what makes you happy. At the end of the day, knowing that, living in California is really expensive. So if, getting that degree is going to help you pivot to, a spot in an organization that's going to help with the lifestyle you like to live, which they love nice things. It's like, okay, then absolutely, make that a priority. So however you get there, it could be school, it could be a certification program, whatever. Just do what makes you happy. At the end of the day, like that's bottom line, right? With anything is what brings you joy. And you do that every day. I was like day in and day out. That's hard.
And create your own path if you have to.
Absolutely. Start small and just go from there. I've had several different people reach out with, we're dabbling in wanting to start a balloon business, how should we start? And I was like, start small. Start doing things just for your kids, posting pictures. Don't go and buy, tons of inventory.
On a credit card.
I was like, don't go into debt. Everything we've done has been very organic, and it's like, we'll integrate things little by little into, all of the props we have. It's just, we didn't go and spend, $50,000 right off the bat. I think the biggest expense coming out of the gate was, having a website and an email address, and just starting with some of those fundamentals to be a business. And then now it's like, oh my gosh, we have to pay what tax for our LLC? It's like, holy moly. It's, a whole new ball game. But start small and then just build from there. You don't have to like the worst thing is like trying to keep up with everybody else. It's like you see these things on social media and it's like, we have to be like that. It's like, no, you don't have to be like that. Like, set your own destiny, your own path at your own pace, and you will get there. It's just going to take a lot of grit and a lot of patience, but you will get there. And I was super thankful last week. We had Walmart call us. And
Oh my
they're like,
gosh.
hey, we're having a grand reopening. Can you do balloons? It's like pinch me moment. I'm like, oh my
Walmart?
God, like Walmart's calling us. This is amazing. So it's just like, yeah, did that happen? The first year, 2 years, 3 years of our business? No, it did not happen. So it's like, just keeping the pace and just going. You don't want to go fast. We're just like enjoying the ride and just being able to just learn as we grow. So
Yeah, comparison, social media, there's a lot of good things about social media, but there's a lot of bad things that come out of social media, like comparison. Like what you were saying, don't compare yourself to what you see on Instagram, especially because you don't know what is going on behind the scenes.
Absolutely. And believe me, there's a lot of, our behind the scenes sometimes is very chaotic. After a weekend of madness, we come back to the studio on Sunday night and it's like, oh, I'm going to spend all day Sunday reorganizing, refreshing, getting ready for the next week ahead. But there's a lot that happens behind the scenes. Like, they don't see the tears and, like pulling our hair out. It's like, what were we thinking? But, the late night fails of, oh my gosh, like, that's the wrong color paint. I got to go, be at Ace at 6 o'clock in the morning to buy the right color and repaint this before we have to load up and leave. And we've gotten a lot better. We're like weeks ahead now of prepping for things. So, and that's the best thing, about using quality balloons is that we can do something like this 2-3 weeks in advance and leave it in the studio. As long as it's temperature controlled, it's going to look just as amazing as the day we set up. So we are so good at planning ahead now. That's one of the things in the playbook is plan ahead. So try to stay on top of things.
What a huge benefit that you can set up that far in advance because your product is that good.
Yes. Oh, we have clients that, we'll set up balloons for and they'll leave it up for months. And just like, we love it so much. It brings joy. It's beautiful to look at. It's like, we're just going to leave it up all month. I'm like, awesome. Because I have balloons up in my house all the time too. I used to be real like every holiday we're decorating for everything. We're going full on out, but I've gotten better at it.
Do you buy your own supply?
Oh yes. We have a lot of supply. When we buy balloons, it's thousands of dollars worth of balloons at a time. It's not, $20 here, one pack will cost $20. So it's like we buy so much. And when inventory comes in, it's like exciting. And at the same time, it's like, oh crap, we got to sort through all this. We got to replenish our stock, and it's a process, but we make it fun. Just put on some music and have a good time. Make it a party.
Are there a lot of people that are allergic to latex?
We've only had one, a hospital that we have a contract with, and obviously at a hospital you can't have latex, so we do foils. We come up with designs that have foils only.
Oh, okay.
So-
Is that like a different type of balloon?
Yeah, it is. It's, the Mylar, like the
Oh, yeah,
foil Mylar.
yeah.
So we'll do designs just strictly out of foils. So, yeah,
She's got options.
there's definitely options. We do. We love to become creative. We love, someone will send us their invite, and like, okay, we're going to just come up with like 10 different themes, just based off of your invite and at different price points. So that way it's like, this is the simple version all the way to the very deluxe versions. Like, which one do you want? So.
What's
yeah.
been like the most grandiose?
Oh,
Have you ever had a client that's like, do whatever you want, I don't care?
I have a lot that are just like, we trust you, like we're never disappointed. We've done several really big, like one baby shower that was full on. It was a big backdrop. The room was really big, so we actually decorated on the ceiling too.
Oh,
Put
wow.
some ceiling decor up, and yeah, it was so fun. Like I love clients that are just like, here's my budget and have fun. So, but yeah, no, we've done so many really great big events, and we love working with our local schools too. They'll tell us their prom theme, and it's like, okay, and the location, and we just propose different ideas because, obviously there's a committee of kids that want to be a part of it. So you want to give a lot of different ideas so that way they can decide what, they like as a group. So we just work with some of the best, we have the best clients. We really do have the best clients. They're fun and easygoing and just like, hey, we trust you. And it's like, oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
So
And
I want to say a good majority of our business is just repeat customers and them referring new customers to us. So it's, the community and networking is like key for pretty much anything, right? I mean, in
Yes.
any business, it's just networking and staying actively involved.
Do you have like a niche that is your favorite to do, like bridal parties or?
No.
You like it all?
No, I love it all. Like, I love it that, it's always something different. We've never set up the same thing twice. Actually, we just had a client that reached out for a graduation at a local school, and we proposed some new ideas, and they're like, we loved what you did last year. We want the exact same thing. I was like, perfect. I love when they know what they want, and it's like, awesome. That's easy to do. We know exactly how to do that. So no, we just love it all. There's not, well, like, I can't say there's one thing. There's some that's like, wow, like we sit back and we can appreciate it. It's like, we just did that. Like, that's amazing. We had, like, couple weeks ago, we did a prom and we incorporated a chandelier into the design
Oh my
at
gosh.
the entrance. And it was like, okay, is this going to be able to hold up well? And, there's no place to plug in. So we had to, find an alternative lighting source for it. And it was like, we did that. Like, you sit back later and you're like, wow, that is so elegant. There's so many different elements that you can incorporate with the balloons, from florals to just, even cutouts. It's just like, it's amazing how when you put it all together, it's like, wow, I design everything on the screen, on a computer, and then to see it come to life, it's like, wow, yeah. That looks much better, coming to life.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds beautiful. I'm going to go and stalk your Instagram and look at all the cool photos and put them into your episodes.
thank you.
So the girls can
we,
see it.
We do, we just, it's just fun. Like, it's our creative outlet, for sure.
There is her name's Amanda, and she owns Indie Rose, and she owns a studio, and it's like this, and she rents it out to people who are doing birthday parties or events, and also photographers. Like, there's some staging for
nice,
photographers.
yes.
I don't think she has a balloon person.
Well, you better drop my name.
I will, because I'm always like, I love collaborating. It's like my favorite thing to do.
No, we're so grateful
fun.
because it's, venues like this that just, people come, and then people are constantly asking us, is there, a venue location that you know of? And so, well, obviously, we love working with this venue. Like, they've got a great setup for what you're looking for. So we're able to refer out, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
It really does. So I do have like a little list of okay, my favorite caterers, my favorite, venue locations. And then, so that way it's like when people call me, our favorites florists, it's like, I've got a list of people I can refer over to you.
Mm-hmm. Do you offer like packages? Like, have you built a package at all?
As far as like a package with a DJ and this and that, no, no, because, we're trying to just stay in our lane. I feel like, when you start to venture out too far into, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and, I don't want to become your event planner.
Right.
So I know there's plenty of people that do that are far more, their expertise in that area. Like, I just want to be able to, get in, do our focal point of what, the client wants, and be able to get out and, be that one-stop shop, and just really hone in on what we're good at and just keep improving, what we're good at. So I figure, I always just, thought, hey, I love doing this, I love doing that. It's like, I like to bake, and it's like, no, I don't want to be the baker, the balloonist, like, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
So
That would be a whole nother separate business, event planning.
I was like, this is our niche. This is what we enjoy doing. This is what we're good at. At least we think we're good at doing. And let's just, stay in our lane and just enjoy that and ride that for a while.
Yeah. What type of learning curves did you have from from your corporate job to owning your own business?
Oh my gosh, so many.
Especially
so
in
many.
LLC, because that's
all
like,
of a sudden we're like, accounting? What? So I was like, I got to keep track of all these expenses. It used to be great when you just charge it on the corporate card and do an expense report, but now it's a whole different beast. There was a lot. I mean, I don't even like know where to start. There was just, I'm very familiar with the sales, the marketing aspect of it, because that was, my life on the corporate world. So that was easy, like setting up a website, just that flowed well. But it was, the contract portion of it. It's like making sure we have something in writing to protect us, to protect the client, the insurance part of it. There's just the accounting part of it. Oh, that's not the
That's a
fun
big
part at
one.
all.
Yeah, that's
The
huge.
taxes and that transition was, hey, we're just going to figure that out as we go. And then, I just started listening to a lot more podcasts and just, okay, a business podcast, like, oh, okay, so let's just hire someone to, take care of that for us. Drop everything off and be like, do your magic. We can walk away from it knowing that I'm not the expert in accounting. So just learning to pivot and release what we need to release to the subject matter experts.
Right. Delegate.
I was
Delegation.
like, delegating, we love delegating.
Yeah, I think the most common thread between all the women in business that I've met is a lot of them say that they have ADHD, and that's how they're able to like do so much.
Right.
And then the other one is a loathe for the tax side of things.
Like who sleeps anymore? I was like, we run on coffee and iced tea.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
I was
my
like,
Red
all
Bulls.
the time.
Yes. Not sponsored yet. Speaking it into existence.
We do. I mean, it is hard. That's just it. Is like, I want to be able to like when it comes to setups, it's like I want to be the go-to person. I want to be the one that inflates it. I want to do the one that paints the backdrop. And it's like little by little, it's like, okay, we're gonna delegate the painting to someone. Like I'll still go pick the colors out at the hardware store. Take my balloons with me to make sure that I'm matching it perfectly, and delegate the painting part. But sometimes those are the fun things too, like the mindless things that it's just like I'm gonna go do it because like I need to get out of the studio, I need to go outside. So I don't mind. I still love doing that. It's just now it's like, okay, we don't have as much time in the day, so let's delegate certain things out. I even have like one of my employees that she's done setups by herself too. It's like, okay, like I always feel like I have to be there. I've got to be like the one in control, and it's like, okay, trust the process. Like, she's done this so many times with me, like let her do it. And if she's got problems, she'll call me, and, she's amazing. I've got an amazing group of just employees that are just 100%, they treat this like their own business, and they show up like it's their own business. And that's how I treated, my corporate profession was like, I treat it like that was my own business. And, in the back of my mind, it's like, well, if this was my business, I would do it this way. And it's just like, I used to have a lot more input, they valued my input. And then slowly as, you go up the corporate ladder, it's like, you know when to give input and when you know not to give input. So it's kind of like, I'm going to build something that's for me. Like I'm making someone else a lot more money. Let's pivot and do our own thing and grow something that's for us, that can be family owned. And my husband loves helping, but he's like, balloons is not my thing. And that's okay. It doesn't need to be his thing. He's 100%, helpful and ready to jump on board when he needs to. But I understand it's not, this is my passion. It's not his passion. Mm-hmm. And so that balances things out very well.
How did your family take it when you were like, I'm going to do a balloon business? What did they say?
They were just like, a clown?
Like the little dogs, little wiener dogs?
Some people still, think that, oh, do you make balloon animals? I'm like, no, I am not talented. I wish I knew how to make balloon animals, but no, I am not skilled like that. But no, they're very supportive. My husband was like, this is probably going to be something that, I outgrow in a year or two. And, by year 3, it was like, oh, this is still happening, right? So it was hard transition because, we're very active. I mean, we own 12 acres. So, there's a lot of things to do on our property, but we're also very active where we like to ski, we like to snowboard, we have dirt bikes, we like camping. And so obviously it became, my weekends, I'm like, I can't do that. I've got a balloon client. It's like, what? So now he just, constantly is like, when do you have a free weekend or weekdays where we could, go camping or go hiking? So I think that has been the hardest transition to knowing that, a lot of the events happen on the weekends and that, we don't have, as much flexibility and just being able to hang out and just, last minute decide, let's go hiking or, but we try to do that during the weekends, weekdays, when it's a little bit slower and we're caught up, it's like we'll throw the kayaks in the back and go to, the lake and go kayaking and just make it a, date day. So it doesn't have to be on the weekends, and there's a lot less people out on the lake on the weekdays.
Right.
So we try to just incorporate, different elements during the week. But my family's been so supportive, like my sister, my niece, everybody, my sister-in-law, like everybody has just been so amazing. Just, and it doesn't take, they don't have to hire me for things. It's just a matter of they share my story, they share Instagram, like they just tell people. It's like, and then like they'll show them pictures and I'll be like, oh, I didn't know you can do that with balloons. It's like, yeah, that looks elegant. It's like, yes, there's so much you can do. So they've been very supportive, very supportive.
Has it gotten easier now that you've done this for 6 years now? This is your 6th year. Has it gotten easier for like a work-life balance?
Oh, definitely. It has gotten easier, but then also as I'm looking at for growth, it's like, knowing that the future growth is going to take me away from more of that work-life balance because it's, I've got a little team, a little army, but, that I employ a lot of college students. So knowing that, they're going to be, they're focusing on their growth and what their wants are, so I know that one's getting ready to go into nursing school. So I just know that, I know that the growth is coming, but it's just a matter of it has to be at a pace that I can sustain on my own, knowing that, the people around me are going to change, that are going to be my helpers. So as long as my husband doesn't change, that's good. But he's, I think it's gotten a little easier because, we're now focused on that, oh my gosh, we got to do this, we got to do this. It's more, the growth is slowly happening and it's just more organic now than us just like, oh my gosh, we have to try to get that. We need to try, like, I want that job. And now it's like, okay, we know we're not for everybody. There's someone that we, wants something like this. And it's like, my budget's $100. It's like, no, we're not your balloon person. Again, we treat this as a business, not a hobby. So it's like, we do work a lot with nonprofits and we try to help where we can. And of course, there's people that reach out to us all the time. Can you do this for us? Can you do that for us? And it's like, I've never heard of you before. You've never supported my organization before.
Which is huge.
So it's just huge. So it's like, okay, I want to be able to help everybody, but, realistically, it costs time, money to do this. And then, like, price of gas is so expensive. We have to travel there, and we have insurance to pay for and a vehicle to pay for. So, I've been very picky as to what, who we collaborate with and what we do, because obviously we're going to support the nonprofits in our community that have always supported us.
Right.
And the schools that are supporting us, we're going to help them too. So I do feel like there's just, if I'm going to support your nonprofit and your fundraiser, then, it's got to be reciprocal. You've got to be able to at least, follow me on my Instagram or my Facebook page before you reach out to, hey, can you do something for us for free?
Yeah.
So it's always a catch-22. It's hard.
Right. And I think that it matters to show up for people.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, it matters. Like, do you, I have a lot of girlfriends that are in retail. Like, okay, I went and I shopped at their store 3-4 times.
Yes.
And then we built a relationship.
Absolutely.
And it's just supporting people and showing up for people matters, especially, like you said, why are you contacting me? You've never even shared my post.
You don't even follow me.
Right, you don't even follow me. Like, that matters. And there are ways to support for free, like following. If your friend owns a business, follow her page.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you have to spend money. It's
Right.
just following, sharing,
Right.
promoting. I mean,
Those are all free.
all free. I mean, it just takes, a second of your time to do, share something, like something. So it is so hard, because it's all been organic. We don't pay to do anything. Like, I'm not, I don't buy people's business. Like, that's just not where we're at, where we ever want to be. You know, it's like, you know, we want you to, you know, use our business because you like our work, and it may not be your style. It's okay, go with someone else. But, you know, I'm not going to, you know, purchase something for someone because, you know, they give me business. I know that happens a lot, especially in my professional world. It's like, hey, you know, like, if, you know, I'll give you this work if you do this for me. And it's like, no, we don't run our business that way. Like, I'm
Right.
not going to go buy you a purse or a belt, you know, something lavish because, you know, you give us business. Like, I don't want it to be tied to something
That's
like
weird.
that. That is weird. And it's unprofessional. And so it's like, oh, no, we are just going to grow this organically, have fun with it, and, you know, send our thank you cards for those that continue to support us, and just, you know, grow slow, and that's okay. You know, we're starting to finally bloom a little bit. And so that was the whole she builds, she blooms. It's
Which
like,
I love, by the
you
way.
start, you know, you plant that seed, and, you know, someone planted that seed, and it's like, okay. And it took a lot of watering and a lot of, you know, a lot of love to be able to start to see, you know, see it start paying off. It's like, okay, here we are, blood, sweat, and tears, and we are still sometimes crying, but that's okay. But we're starting to flourish, and we're starting to bloom, and we're loving it.
Well, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
And it's really lovely to meet you, and this is all like really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I love the she builds, she blooms innocent pink. I love it.
You got to throw in some pink in there.
What are some things that you're looking forward to as you're approaching? I mean, you're going to be at 10 years before you know
Oh
it.
my gosh, I want to retire. No, it's good. So we do have, you know, obviously we're looking at some bigger space now. We are definitely busting at the seam where we're at. I mean, even though we're on 12 acres, we are like taking over every aspect of our studio right now, and creeping over onto my husband's side of things. And he's like, nope,
Uh-oh,
nope,
not the man
happening.
cave.
So right now we are looking to expand, and that, you know, whether it's buying some property and building something, or, you know, just moving into a new space. So that is something that is hopefully that's on the goal list for 2026. And I would just figure, you know, if it's God's will, it's going to happen. So just, you know, it's going to happen one way or another. We know it. And continue. I'd love to be able to. I'm currently collaborating with, you know, some different with the brand I love to use, Top Tex. So we've got some things coming up with them, and then also I'd love to be able to teach again. You know, that was something that just when we did it down in LA, we had so much fun, and we're at the point where we're putting together some ideas to be able to host a class, and a beginner's class. So it could be for those stay-home moms who, you know, want something like this but don't want to pay someone to do it. They want to hands-on do it themselves. Some of the tips and tricks that, you know, we use to be able to get things done a little quicker and make it look elegant. So we're looking into adding a hands-on class. I have a lot of people that call and ask us, so we're like, okay, maybe this is something we need to do. And that probably will be down in the Southern California area, because a lot of the interest comes from the Southern California area. So we'll probably pack up the van and drive down to SoCal and host a class. And yeah, those are like the two big things this year. And, you know, we're expanding our marquees, because we have these 4-foot wooden marquees that are, you know, hot commodity, especially during graduation. Everyone wants the 2026 or the grad
Yeah.
phrases. So we're slowly expanding that as well. Just investing is, you know, we invest a lot of money into our products, and we're at the point where, like, we don't just throw money at it just to throw money at it. It's got to make sure it makes sense for us. So we're slowly integrating some new backdrops and some new props into it. But again, very like, well, there's got to be a little bit of a demand for it for us to be able to jump in and do it. So if it's those one-off things that someone sees on TikTok and they sends us like, can you do this? It's like, it doesn't make sense for us to do that. So.
Right.
But yeah, we've got some ideas. We got some things in the works. Maybe one thing is maybe another van, because sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, how many jobs are we going to be able to fit into this van? And sometimes I'm like, maybe a U-Haul, just, you know, purchasing a big box truck, and be able to deliver a lot more things at once than our cargo van. So
I didn't even consider that. You do have to have a big vehicle to
we
do this.
do. I mean, we started out with just using, you know, our SUV in the beginning. And then bigger jobs, we have a contract with U-Haul, and we still do use U-Haul quite a bit for some of the bigger installs that, we put everything in the cargo van. It's like, nope, that's not happening. We need to go bigger. We love big projects. So, so that's one of the things is we've considered is maybe, we put a hitch on the back of the van so we can pull a trailer hey, Placerville does like their Christmas parade, so we're like, we're going to be in the Christmas parade. Let's put a hitch on.
Fun.
And then my husband's like, you can just put, a trailer on the hitch and be able to fill it with balloons and transport it. But everything I do is like, it's got to be climate controlled, especially in summertime. I was like, I want to make sure I maintain it. If it's going to be in a box truck, it's got to be temperature controlled. And he's like, very bougie. We've got ideas. But we've got, we're just having some fun. Continue on that path.
And what advice would you have for a woman who wants to take that leap and start a business or get into ballooning or is juggling multiple things?
Just do it. You don't have to do it all at once right away. Just, start small and grow from there. Don't get discouraged. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just, have a support system in place, friends, family, husband. I advise against the husband, maybe a friend that, you can just lean on, and when it gets, when you're trying to pivot. My husband's great. He is so hands-on, but at the end of the day, it's like he doesn't want to talk about balloons, because that's all I can talk about is balloons, this and that, and I've got this idea. And so it's like nice to have someone that is, not in that picture 24/7 with you, that you can just bounce ideas off of, and just have a good network of friends that are going to support you, because, at the end of the day, you're the one that's, doing everything, and you just have to start. That's just it. Is don't be scared. Start. Just go from there.
Just go for it.
Go for it. Don't say no.
Any other exciting news or plans or anything else you'd like to share with anybody that's watching?
No big plans. I mean, obviously we've got some things in the work we're not allowed to talk about, that we're not allowed to disclose as of yet.
Oh, that's exciting.
So it is exciting. It's just
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Follow us, and you'll be able to see what's going on. We are in the works with a couple different collaborations that until it's done, I can't say anything. But no, really, I think the big thing is just working on our studio space, expanding our space to be able to have a better workflow, better storage of our props, and oh my gosh, our florals. We have so much going on. I am so grateful. I have a new employee starting over the summer. She's going to be home from college, and she's like, I want to be able to help. And I'm like, we're going to keep you busy. So just a reorganization, and just keep building, having fun.
I love it.
Thank you.
I'm going to have your Instagram. Is that your main, where you do most of your social media, Instagram?
Our website has both our Instagram and our Facebook page. And then, of course, we're on TikTok, too. Who isn't? We're really bad at social media, though. Like, we will post on Instagram, but we're on Pinterest and TikTok, too.
That's fun.
Had one of our employees start that, and it's like, I don't want to have to manage it all. It's so hard to manage so many different platforms.
It's like a whole separate
job. Yeah.
It's a whole separate job.
I am not savvy by any means on creating, awesome content. We are just, just flying below the radar there. We are not good. So maybe we'll get someone on payroll that can help us in that avenue. But follow us. Follow us. Send us a message through our website. We'd love to be able to talk parties with you.
And she is very responsive, extremely responsive. I can attest for that. I contacted her out of the blue, and I was like, hey, I saw you on Facebook. Would you like to be on my podcast? This is what it is. And very responsive, super professional, super sweet lady. I'll have all your stuff in the description. And I think that's a wrap.
Thank you. Woo! High five.